Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're live on Love 99.5 FM, over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Laura FM in Laura, A1 Radio in Bolga, Tanga Kekeli Radio in Ho, Sky FM in Sunyai, and Victory FM in Aplao. You can also listen live on Spotify app and also my joyonline.com app. In this edition, Parliament's ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee says he suspects a hidden agenda behind the suspension of Magdan Aviation by the Ghana Airport Company Limited.
The ministry and the agencies appear to have cooperated with Magdan all this while. So what actually changed on that Friday? This letter tells me that they didn't have too much concerns about it, because I have more than 14 letters here between Ghana Airport Company and Civil Aviation.
We have details of that also this afternoon. MC for Sekendita Credit pleads not guilty to 3 charges, including assaulting public officer and offensive conduct, as he makes his appearance in court following his arrest yesterday.
You refuse to. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Good. I will not insult you. I'm a professional police officer.
You don't know whom you are dealing with. You can't beg him tomorrow.
But why are you insulting police? Why are you insulting police?
We're bringing live update from the court as he's granted 100,000 CD bail with 3 sureties. World Bank serves notice it will recover from Government of Ghana funds giving to support COVID-19 pandemic fight if it review shows the monies were diverted.
When the post-procurement review is done, if we will notice that certain things that have been spent on were not in the procurement plan, or we call that ineligible expenses, government will have to refund us.
We'll hear from its country director, who is urging government to check hikes in price of goods, as well as take a look at the situation.
We know inflation has been rising, and inflation is a terrible thing because it impacts the poor.
Also, government targets significant increase in local consumption of chocolate this month as it extends the National Chocolate Day to a week-long celebration.
I will also, on behalf of the President, plead with you all to eat chocolate, stay healthy, and then together we grow Ghana.
We have sports.
Sullivan Tari could be in action for Accra House of Oak this weekend. And guess who influenced him to return to the pitch after 2 years? He says it is his son. We have details in 20 minutes.
And in showbiz, it's been a while since you saw his face on the big screen. Well, worry not, because evangelist actor Majid Michel is back with the men we love.
Because I miss him, and I know everyone misses him. So when I got the story, the script was ready, I spoke to him. I told him about it. He read it. He loved it.
We'll hear from producer, director Yvonne Nelson. That and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Many thanks for choosing us. As always, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Many thanks for your company once again. And this afternoon, the ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament, Governor Kwame Agboja, says he suspects a hidden agenda behind the suspension or the direction by the Ghana Airport Company Limited to Magdan Aviation to suspend the operation of its private jet services. In an interview with Joy News, Mr. Kwame Agboja demanded the Transport Minister, Kweku Furesiama, furnishes the committee with every agreement between Magdan Aviation and the Ghana Airports Company Limited within a week.
If you believe the terminal building is not yet fit for purpose, on what basis are you writing to Frontier to go in there and conduct COVID tests? They said this letter was sent to the Frontier just to be in preparedness to go and install things there to receive passengers. I did not buy that because if they are not ready, don't even go there by suggesting that this is possible. So this is one of the reasons people believe that something different from what we have heard so far might have necessitated what they are doing. Because so far, for what I have heard, I doubt if this is all about breaches by Magdan. Because the ministry and the agencies appear to have cooperated with Magdan all this while. So what actually changed on that Friday? This letter tells me that they didn't have too much concerns about it, because I have more than 14 letters here between Ghana Airport Company and Civil Aviation. Not a single one was about to say we do not like what you are doing, stop it, except for that 31st inauguration letter. So it tells me that perhaps there's something that we are not being told.
And for which reason you are saying you suspect the ministry did not do due diligence?
Well, I have no doubt that if since 2018 you've given a contract which we are yet to see to an entity to operate a list of these things, and they have been breaching them, how come it took only 31st, almost 2019, 2020, 2021, in the third year before you come out to say these things?
That's Governor Kwame Abuja, minority spokesperson on roads and transport. Thankfully, we have him join us live on the line. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So what exactly could be this hidden agenda in this matter that you talk about?
Well, MFR, good afternoon to your cherished listeners. The entire thing looks quite unclear to anybody, and the Committee of Road and Transport just started looking into it. We met the Ministry, Ghana Port Company, and Civil Aviation yesterday. For the start, they didn't provide us with the exact contract, which they said they will give us, because the contract will spell out exactly what Magdan Aviation is supposed to be doing at the airport. But for my concern, I'm just worried that a list of things were said to have been breaches that Magdan did since 2019. But there's no official communication listing those things. They were just said with a word of mouth. So we think this interaction we had with the ministry is inconclusive. So we needed further particulars. So the committee decided that somewhere next week we'll be visiting the facility itself. And if necessary, we'll have to speak to representatives of Magdan so that we have a full picture. Then we can make the appropriate recommendations.
Well, but it appears that the investigations are ongoing, like you're saying. So if your committee is looking into this particular matter, how then do you go public with comments about a hidden agenda when the investigations are already ongoing? Are they not prejudicial to the investigations?
Well, look at it this way. If you are a landlord and you've given a tenancy agreement to somebody, and you say, for instance, for you to change the ceiling, you need to get my prior approval. And since 2018, the person has been breaching everything. And there's no record that you have actually admonished or invoked any part of the tenancy agreement. Only for the day the person claims to be moving in for you to take that drastic action. It means that there's something that we don't know. So I'm just saying that you are calling it hidden agenda. I'm saying that there's something we don't know because it doesn't add up, basically. There must be something that we are yet to discover. That is the point I'm saying, that we haven't finished. So there's nothing that is conclusive about this. We want to be as fair as possible to the ministry, Ghana Port Company, Civil Aviation, and Magdan. So we are not going to pass judgment. But so far, what we have heard doesn't add up.
Well, so you're demanding some additional documents in terms of agreement between Magdan and the Ghana Airports Company Limited from the Transport Ministry. Does it look like you're going to get those documents?
Of course. This is Parliament. So it's a committee of Parliament is like a high court. So if the dispute is about a breach of a contract, and how on earth could we be making conclusive decisions if we haven't even seen the contract? So they have agreed to furnish us with the contract. There were issues about how much he's supposed to pay for the rental of those things. The ministry or the agencies were not able to provide us with those things. And those are some of the critical things that are necessary so that we can come to a reasonable conclusion as to exactly what necessitated that action on the 31st. We are not faulting the ministry for taking the action. Perhaps it was to safeguard the airport. That is not the point we are talking about. We are saying, how come they've been breaching all this while, and it took you almost 3 years to take that action on the 31st? That is the point we are making.
Okay, so we understand your committee also intends to speak some other individuals central to this particular issue. Do we have any timelines as to when this investigation will be over?
Yes, it was raised at the committee, and the minister graciously agreed that within a week we will have access to those documents. And he's also agreed that he's given us permission to visit the Terminal 1 facility in the company of Ghana Port Company and Ghana Civil Aviation. And the committee is forming a decision to possibly speak to Magdan Aviation. because it will not be fair if we spoke to the ministry and the agencies without speaking to them. I don't think we would have seen the full picture. For all you know, they have their own version of the story.
And when are we scheduled for that to happen? Your interaction with
within next week.
Or within next week. And you have timelines of when this investigation will be done?
Yeah, we told ourselves within 2 weeks we should wrap up, and then. But if it is required that we need further information that will take us beyond the 2 weeks, so be it. But we are giving ourselves, since the ministry said to finish us with the document and we can visit the airport within a week, we are giving ourselves another 1 week. On top of that, we should be able to come to a level of understanding of what's happened.
We're grateful for your time. That's Governs Kwame Agboja. He's minority spokesperson on roads and transport, and his committee has been looking into this particular impasse between the Magdan Aviation and, of course, the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and to a large extent the Transport Ministry as well. It's an issue we're following up on, and as and when we get more details, we'll bring it to you. But let me stay a while longer in Parliament, because we're all waiting for that controversial electronic levy to make a showing in Parliament, and parliamentary correspondent is picking up information that it could be withdrawn from Parliament totally. Paka, what's the information you're picking?
Well, MFR, I'm sure many Ghanaians are expecting to know when the e-levy will be tabled before the House, debated upon, and subsequently voted on, and decided whether we are approving it or rejecting it. Well, today, the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Fayemaki, communicating to the House for the business for the week, for next week actually, indicated that the Finance Minister will on Tuesday, next week Tuesday, come to Parliament to withdraw and subsequently also reintroduce on Friday. So they will withdraw the e-levy, the current form, how it is, on Tuesday, and the following Friday, they will reintroduce the levy. Now, we understand that there's been some concessions being made by the Finance Minister that the 1.75 charge will be reduced to 1.5%. And that is why government intends to withdraw it and subsequently reintroduce it for consideration.
But this 1.5 was not agreed on with the minority. I'm sure they've been reacting to this.
Well, the minority indeed reacted to it, but they did not state specifically their position on the reduction of the levy. But their concern actually was about certainty, because if you listen to the wording of Alexander Fayemaki, he indicated that likelihood of it being withdrawn, and that phrase is where the minority had concerns that are you withdrawing it or you are not. If you say likelihood, what it means is that there's the possibility that you want to keep it, you want to look at other areas before you withdraw or something. So they needed clarity. But Fayemaki indicated that when they go for their business committee meeting, they will address the issues there. But for the charge, we are yet to get some reaction from the minority. But I must state clearly that the minority's position has been a 0% e-levy. So whether 1.5 or even 1%, the minority remain opposed to the e-levy.
That's parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Paka Wilson there. We're also picking information that the youth wing of the NDC are preparing to hit the streets in protest against this electronic levy that we're told that may be withdrawn on Tuesday and reintroduced this time, not 1.75 but 1.5%. Manuel Cranting has a copy of that communication to the police, notification to the police on that intended demonstration. What does it say?
So, MFR, this statement, which is signed by the National Youth Organizer of the NDC, George Opariado, is addressed to the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, and says that the youth wing of the NDC is convinced that there is an urgent need for a mass protest to put pressure on the government of Ghana to rescind its desperate efforts on the electronic levy, end widespread corruption, redeem young people from mass unemployment, pay outstanding arrears to workers, and end the UTAG endless strike immediately. Our young people are fed up and will resist across the country the continuous deterioration of the governance of this country.
Thankfully, he joins us on the line, George Opariado, the head of the youth wing of the NDC. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So since this communication to the police, have you had any favorable response?
Yes, earlier this morning, we got a call from the regional police commander inviting us for Tuesday at 10 a.m. Tuesday in the police to finalize preparations for the demonstration Thursday.
Mr. Opare, if you could reposition yourself, I don't think we followed everything that you said earlier. If we could just quickly reposition yourself and take that again.
I'm saying that the police called us this morning, and so we'll be meeting them on Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Well, so in all this, though, with talk surrounding this particular e-levy, we know that engagements are still ongoing. A number of town halls still underway. We're just hearing that it will be withdrawn and reintroduced, and that the percentages will be reviewed. Why then would you want to hit the streets ahead of all that is happening?
I'm sure yesterday you saw the communications from the Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Joy99.7FM, about government's attempt to use intimidation and the court systems to reduce the numbers of the NDC. As we speak to you now, the case of the Assin of MP is pending before the Court of Appeal. A decision is yet to be made on the matter, but government has gone ahead to enter criminal prosecutions against it. And as of yesterday, government was before the court trying to procure a bench warrant to arrest the MP. We are of the opinion that government is trying to use this draconian means to reduce our numbers in Parliament, and we are not going to allow that. If government believes in the e-levy, if it believes it's still undergoing consultation, then why resort to such desperate measures?
Well, we follow that closely and see what response you get from the police on that. That's the national youth organizer of the NDC, George Opare there. Well, experts are this afternoon questioning the timing of criminal charges filed against Assin North MP James Jechikwesing. We've been hearing from them also talking about it. But amongst others, they say it could potentially affect parliamentary harmony in a time of greater need for cooperation. Mr. Kwesing has since 2021 been fighting to set aside a court judgment that directed he stops holding himself as a member of parliament. We also know that criminal charges have been brought against him. But some leading MPs say they will stop him from performing his parliamentary duties. Samuel Atachia is one of them.
He should not be in the chamber because they've declared that he's not an MP. Well, we should draw the attention of the Speaker that this man should get out of the chamber before we commence business. Because by operation of law, he's been declared not as a member of parliament.
So you'll ensure he's out of the chamber?
He should be out of the chamber.
I see. So going forward from tomorrow, if he gets into the chamber, you'll alert the speaker.
We should alert the speaker that a stranger is in the chamber.
But Minority Chief Whip Muchaka Mubarak says they will resist it.
When we get there, then we'll see how the speaker is going to order him out of the chamber. And we equally draw the speaker's attention to the stay of execution that is pending in the appeals court, the case that is at the Supreme Court, and all the processes. And we'll remind the speaker that this didn't start only in this February. And at what we call honorable question was there when we did vote for the 2021 budget. It cannot be because of e-levy now all of a sudden that they are now waking up to say that so far as they are concerned, he's not a member of parliament. He is.
That's the Minority Chief Whip Muchaka Mubarak. We can hear from lawyer Martin Pebu and Executive Director of Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman.
It's very disturbing in terms of the timing. The timing is horribly bad. It sends dark shadows, sends dark clouds over our democracy, because it's very clear that at this point in time, there is the tussle over the e-levy in Parliament. So you don't expect such machinations at this time.
If I look at the timing of it, I look at it from the perspective of efforts being made to try and bridge the gap between the two sides, to try and begin to build the much needed consensus. 3 years is going to be a very long time for the two sides to live together in that house. And every effort must be made to make sure that, we find a way to get them to work together.
That's Dr. Rashid Rahman. He's Executive Director of Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. You also heard earlier lawyer Martin Pebu. Let's head to the Western region now. And the Municipal Chief Executive of Sekendi Takrade, Abdul Mumenisa, has pleaded not guilty to 3 charges, including assault of a public officer, offensive conduct, and disturbing public peace. Mr. Issa was arrested on Thursday for allegedly driving dangerously towards a police checkpoint. He was reportedly recorded issuing threats of transfer to the arresting officer, whom he described as ugly. Responding to the charges leveled against him before the Takrade Circuit Court A, the MCE said he was not guilty. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwanza was in court for us. She joins us with details. So Ina, give us a blow-by-blow account of what happened in court.
Yes, MFA. So he arrived at the court around 8 a.m. this morning. He went straight to the courtroom, looking very calm. Before his arrival, officials of the Secretary Stafford Metropolitan Assembly, including their coordinating director, had already arrived. When the case was called, he was charged with 3 charges. That is assault of a public officer, offensive conduct, disturbing the peace of the public, of which, yes, he pleaded not guilty to. And his counsel, Samuel Kofi Abota, pleaded that he should be granted bail since all the offenses are bailable. The judge, Michael Ampedu, his honor, said, okay, he was going to give him the bail, but a tune of 100,000 with 3 sureties. The judge then signed a word of caution to everyone that the court, the Takoradi Circuit Court, will not be lenient with anyone who interferes with the work of the police or a security officer. He said he was disappointed to see the MCE there because he knows the law and knows better. Not to say that he's saying he's guilty, but for him to be connected to such a case, he was disappointed. So this is what happened in court today.
Okay, so we're also told that
of officials were seized.
We're told there was a second case that was also brought before him.
Yes, MFA. Just after the first case was closed, we saw that was it. So we were leaving courtroom where we heard that his name has been mentioned again. And for this case, he has 2 charges. The first charge is careless and inconsiderate driving and causing danger to the road. With these 2 charges again, the MC pleaded not guilty. This time, his lawyer prayed that the court should give him a bill, and that the bill they were seeking for is a self-recognized bill, of which he was granted.
That's a correspondent Inathalia Kwanza there reporting from the court today, and the MCE appears in a lot of trouble. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We've been hearing from ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee on suspicions about a hidden agenda behind the reasons given by the Ghana Airport Company Limited's direction to Magdan Aviation to suspend its operation of its private jet services. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then also World Bank serves notice it will recover from Ghana, the government of Ghana, funds given to support COVID-19 pandemic fight if its review shows the monies were diverted.
We know inflation has been rising, and inflation is a terrible thing because it impacts the poor.
And then later in showbiz, I bet it's been a while since you saw his face on the big screen. Worry not, because evangelist actor Majid Michel is back with The Man We Love.
Because I miss him, and I know everyone misses him. So when I got the story, the script was ready, I spoke to him. I told him about it. He read it. He loved it.
Hey, Evokoku, what brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Nick Bakbo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are now giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Efokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes. Conveniente, also at Amrahia, where it's contemporary but super affordable apartments. Prices start from $35,000. And the Avant-Garde, located in Adjurigano, which has sleek luxury apartments. For more information, please visit edlumhousing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlum Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Now, the World Bank says it will be carrying out a review to determine how the government of Ghana spent funds it handed it to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Country Director Pierre Laporte, in an exclusive interview with Joy Business, said at least $435 million had been disbursed to Ghana since the outbreak of the pandemic. There have been calls on government to make public how it has spent all these money set aside for the fight following allegations by the minority in Parliament. The funds have been misapplied. Mr. Laporte says the bank will look into how the funds were spent.
Yeah, you see, every time we put funds, the first thing is we agree with the government a procurement plan, and it's spelled out very clearly These are what the funds will go for. Secondly, we don't give COVID funding directly to, say, the Ministry of Health. There is a project implementation unit that has a separate account, designated account, that holds these funds.
Now, on the state of Ghana's economy, Mr. Laporte says there are some challenges, including inflation and revenue inflows, which must be tackled.
The performance of an economy is not only about growth.
Yeah.
Growth is one thing. Yeah. Growth is very good because, it brings more jobs, it brings more revenues, it brings, more opportunities, it gives more confidence to. But there are other aspects that remain of concern. We know inflation has been rising, and inflation is a terrible thing because it impacts the poor, it impacts investors, it impacts the daily purchasing power of even the normal people. So,
can the proposed e-levy be a solution to the revenue shortfalls? Listen to what he had to say.
To make sure that everybody pays what they should be paying, for instance, if you look at exemption in Ghana, is a big problem. There are too many exemptions, and this is it's a conversation we're having with the Minister of Finance. Very often countries think you can give so much incentives, so much concessions, and exemptions to attract investors.
You talked about digital space. That is a space that we can explore, and one area that has generated a lot of controversy and discussions and even debate.
That's the World Bank Country Director, Pierre Laporte. Let's do sports.
And in sports, Suleiman Tare has completed a move to Accra House of Oak. He says that his decision to join the Phobian is because his son has asked him to do so.
House of Oak play great football, and it's a top team, one of the biggest in Africa. So I'm happy to be part of it. Decision to play now, it's my son, but decision to play for House of Oak, it was easy. I lived here in Accra also. Before even when I come down for holidays, I train with House of Oak. I met Dr. Temaklo, the president himself, Afede, and then a few of his friends, and some of the players too. I met them, and yeah. So I've been watching House for a long time, and I know a little bit about the team. So it wasn't a hard decision to make. But the push was my son who.
Really, the push. Has your son ever pushed you to do something?
Of course. What they be the biggest too. Well, we're getting ready for 14 February, Valentine's Day, and the Nasha of the year has joined me in the studios, Mapitso Sibidi. Well, government is doing something unique. You know that every time 14 February is a National Chocolate Day, and Marco Kwekumante, Deputy Tourism Minister, has been speaking about it.
Cocoa has been underrated by many Ghanaians, irrespective of its support to our economy, and then the health benefits that the world has identified. Cocoa powder has been identified by research to help reduce inflammation and can protect one from diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. I will also, on behalf of the President, plead with you all to eat chocolate, stay healthy, and then together we grow Ghana.
That's the Deputy Tourism Minister, Marco Kwekumante. So her status has changed. She's not the National of the Year. Mapitso, what do we have in showbiz?
Well, so my status is international industry player.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Let's go to showbiz, where actress Yvonne Nelson says she's thrilled to introduce Ghanaians to a new film, and it's called The Men We Love. And someone we've been eager to see is Majid Michel, and he is in that movie.
Because I miss him, and I know everyone misses him too. It's been a while since the fans saw all of us on their screens. So when I got the story, the script was ready, I spoke to him. He thought I was joking, I'm sure. I told him about it. He read it. He loved it. And then I started with the planning, crew, equipment, cast. And we went on set. Here we are. The movie is ready. It's premiering on Valentine's Day.
All right, so they're also premiering that movie 14 February on Valentine's Day. Someone very special to us has been speaking about the e-levy, and that is Shatawale.
Hey, Ghana, forget everything, my guy. Sometimes the way you put it around the country, Charlie, they pay me say man no grow set man, we man want also help the country. Because right now, people, they make the thing they look like if you get opportunity where you get your chance, where you can't get power, you can take any decision you want. Everybody talk about e-levy. Everybody talk about e-levy. Yes, it's nice, you understand? It's nice, it's good. You people want to make the system look, like that, but bad man, create measures. Create things for the citizens not to complain. So when they do this, they go understand, say, we all the build up. Don't work like the country be your own. Work with us. Think about human beings. Think about human beings. Why would they see one own people like animal? The first see your brother, they say the animal, he no get sense. He no take decision. Why?
Or see a bad man think like a human being.
Okay.
Whoever the bad man is, we don't know.
Well, and that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tabil is up next. I am Memefa Pau. Many thanks for your company. Enjoy your weekend.
Business no ebetimi susei. So the projections from the first quarter show a higher total gross profit for the fiscal year.
Ebetimi akasa say
Nana, goods not land you. He did the port right.
Ebetimi susei.
Here are your items. Thank you for coming.
Ebetimi